Hey, what's going on? My name is Frazier. I'm a certified life, health, and nutrition coach, and I want to talk to us today about getting yourself mentally prepared to lose weight. See, there's a lot of obstacles and roadblocks in our way when it comes time to reaching our goals in life. There's a lack of support, there's demotivating people, there's a lack of time, there's mental roadblocks in our own head that we have to overcome. And sometimes we get so associated with our pain, we get comfortable in our unhappiness that it doesn't want us to change. We actually are benefiting from our pain, therefore it doesn't motivate us to change. And sometimes we have to get uncomfortable. Things in life have to get uncomfortable in order to motivate us for change. That's why a lot of times you see it in the movies, like the superheroes, they don't get their powers until tragedy happens in their lives. And we operate the same way. We don't get our superpower. We don't operate in our purpose until tragedy happens in our lives, in our work, in our personal lives, that forces us to change and forces us to move. It's because we're stuck. We're fearful of change. We're fearful of success, and we're fearful of the way that people are going to treat us differently. Because I heard somebody say that many of us would prefer known hells as opposed to unknown heavens. And see, it's really in the unknown that things change, that we can change our mindsets, that we can change our circumstances. And we fear that change, and the temporary discomfort of change is nothing compared to a life of unhappiness. So we have to change from benefiting from our problems to making sure that we're uncomfortable in our situations that force us to have change. And sometimes we get stuck in a holding pattern, or we get stuck in our situation just because our life goals and dreams are just not big enough, so they don't motivate us to move, and they don't motivate us to change. So we have to change our whole mindset, and we can't do that sometimes by ourselves. We need somebody else. We need a therapist, we need a life coach to actually give us a different and strategic way of thinking, a more excellent way of thinking, so that we can pull ourselves out of our own minds and do what we're supposed to do and operate in our purpose. It's good to be a dreamer and a hoper, but we have to be doers. We have to, see, we get caught up in, I should do this, I should eat properly, I should exercise, and all of a sudden you just should have all over yourself. You've got to change those things and make it a must. I must do this, I must do that, because if I don't do this, then the outcome is going to be the same. It's going to be pretty much more the same. I'm going to be repeating the cycle, and things are not going to change in my life. I'm not going to operate in my purpose. I'm not going to do the thing that I'm purposed to do. So you've got to change that. And sometimes it takes a push or a kick to be able to get into the right mindset to shake you out of what it is that you're doing and thinking. When you start making changes in your life, it's going to affect everybody around you. So it's important that you start communicating your changes to those who are close to you. And if they get with the change or not, you got to make sure that you press forward. Sometimes it requires you to change circles, because I tell people like this: when life is like an elevator, and when you're destined to rise all the way to the top, there's a lot of people that want to get in on the ground floor. You have to have enough discernment to know when it's time to get them off your elevator. You have to know that they're in your life for a reason and a season. And see, if you don't know when to let them off on the second, third, or fifth floor when they're supposed to get off, then there's not enough room for the people who are supposed to ride with you all the way to the top. So your elevator starts moving at overcapacity and starts moving slower, and you start moving slower towards your goals, your dreams, and your purpose. So you gotta shift circles, you gotta let people off, you gotta cut some people out of your life because they're just not made and they don't have a purpose in your future. I'm reminded of the song that was sung by Lionel Richie. He said, before I met you, I had no direction, no purpose, no value. And what we have to do in order to gain direction and purpose is identify those things that are holding us back. When we identify the things that are holding us back, our triggers. First of all, you have triggers that pull you out of new behaviors and changes in your life. And we have to develop what I call happiness triggers that snap us right back. It might be a song, it might be a dance, you might kick yourself up, you might jump up in the air, it might be whatever it is. You have to find out what your happiness triggers are so that when you get pulled out of your new behavior and your new life, you can pull yourself right back into it. Willpower alone is not enough. We have to have a strategy. We have to have a business plan. We have to think about how we are going to attack, how we're going to face our obstacles, how we're going to face our roadblocks in our lives, how we're going to build awareness towards these things, because it's just like a muscle, and the more that you exercise it, the better it gets. So I'm telling you, exercise that muscle of fighting your roadblocks, of overcoming, and then you also have to exercise the muscle of already being there, seeing yourself in the future, seeing yourself already like it's already done, like you've already achieved your goals. And what you're doing is you're actually rewriting the neural pathways in your brain to start thinking that way. And then all of a sudden, you don't have a roadmap to the past, but you have more of a roadmap to the future.
Every single day